What's up, football heads? Welcome back to that show. Thine eyes doth not deceive thee. This is not an episode of Noob Football Picks. This is, in fact, the Puerto Rican prince of the pigskin himself joining me on the flagship show. The boys are back. It's been a long layoff, but I'm happy to be back. I'm happy football is back, and I'm happy to be back talking football with you, Cesar. What's up, man?
Thank you so much for having me, and we're back, baby. We're finally back after 6 long months. We're finally back, and football's back, and God bless us because, man, what a week one we had.
Oh yeah, there's just something in the air when football is back. That week one hits, you got an ice cold beer in your hand on a Sunday afternoon, just watching grown men just run into each other. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I had
There's
like
nothing like
a couple of ice cold beers, I could say.
several,
Yeah,
several.
definitely several. And a bunch of food that's not good for me at my age, but whatever.
It's football, so you got to celebrate. Got to celebrate. Everyone I saw, I wished them a happy holiday. Most of them looked at me like, "Huh?" It's like football.
Yeah,
Back,
NFL
baby.
Sunday, baby. It's the first one.
It's better at this point as an adult. It's better than Christmas.
Yeah. I mean,
It is.
you need to take a walk after before Sunday night football starts, but yeah,
Yeah.
or at least a nap or something like that. But either way, it's a great day. It was a great Sunday. It was a great week too. A lot of great games, a lot of one possession games that ended up, to last possession. So it was fun week one for a lot of teams. Not so much fun for a couple of teams. So we'll see what. So hit me. What we're talking about today?
All right, let's dive in. We got to go to the game of the week first. Could be the game of the year. Like we might end up in a situation that come 18, 17 weeks from now, we're still looking back at like, yeah, that was the best game of the season.
Oh yeah.
Baltimore Ravens at Buffalo Bills, the last home opener at Highmark Stadium, the old Ralph Wilson Stadium before they opened their new stadium. Bills fans were jacked up, but it wasn't looking great for a while. But Josh Allen, man, you got a nuclear weapon like that at quarterback. All 20,000 of those fans that decided, let's beat the traffic. It's a Sunday night. We got work tomorrow.
Have a
They
little
missed
faith,
out.
like he said. Have a little faith, he said. Just have a little faith.
Have
Josh
to.
Allen put that team on his back, man. He put that team on his back, and he made it happen. And then that kick, like, what's his name? The kicker? That's like
Matt
80
Prater,
Matt Prater.
the old man.
Dude, apparently he took a red eye, arrived like the night before or whatever, and then now he's just kicking the game-winning field goal. So yeah, good for him. It was a great game, start to finish. I texted you. I said, put a fork on the Bills. The waffle is done or whatever. I said, and as soon as I did that, Derrick Henry fumble happens, and oh. I jinxed him. I jinxed the Ravens. But whatever. But it was a great game. It was a great game. The offense from the Ravens looked as incredible as always. Those two weapons, Lamar and Henry, they just look great. Even though with that Henry fumble, that I'm sure it's hitting him up because you saw it in his face. He was not happy. Like he knew that was the catalyst. That was the turning point. That once that fumble happened, Buffalo took over. Josh Allen took advantage of it, and he just rallied his team behind him, and they made it happen. They got it done, and that was one of the best games I ever seen in my life.
Well, that's the thing is like Derrick Henry, 18 carries, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like he's 31 years old, monster. He averaged 9.4 yards a carry on 18 carries, and it's like he does what he does. When he was with the Titans, he did this, destroys the Buffalo Bills, and yet all of that, and it's all just Derrick Henry fumbled because it shifted the momentum entirely. That's the beauty of football. In celebrating the return of football is like Lamar, an incredibly efficient day, 14 of 19, 73% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 144 passer rating. Derrick Henry ran all over the place. Lamar had 6 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. And in the end, it was one play, completely swung everything. That was sort of a theme in at least a few games this weekend, but it's amazing how that works. And I had texted you at one point. I was like, this is a heavyweight fight. It's like when you have like a trilogy of fights between two heavyweight fighters, and the first time they fight, it's kind of feeling each other out. The second time, it's like, okay, now I know what they do. Let me make adjustments, but the other guy's making adjustments. And the third time they fight, this was like the third time, the third match in a
The
trilogy
rubber
between
match.
two fighters where it's just we know what we're gonna do, we know how we're gonna adjust, so they just go out and just throw haymakers all over the place. And
Right. And
Josh
with
Allen proved why he's the MVP. I said it from like week 5, week 6 last year. Josh Allen is the MVP, and he won it.
and he
Lamar
proved
had a
it.
case, but I just the Ravens roster is loaded, and the Bills less so. But like this is why you pay your quarterback this much money to
True.
elevate, to fill in those gaps. And I don't think anyone had questions about Josh Allen at this point in his career, but like he's moved himself into where the conversation is he better than Mahomes? And he's got to beat him in the playoffs first to really cement that. But it's hard to argue anyone is better than Josh Allen.
With that said, though, do you think this is the year where they finally get it done? Do you think this is a year where the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills make it to the Super Bowl? I feel like it's due. I think it's overdue. I think like this might be it for them. I think this is the year where they actually get it done. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think this is a year if they continue to dominate, if they continue to show that grit, and they're able to continue to win games the way they beat the Ravens this past Sunday. I think this is a year where they're able to get it done and go to the Super Bowl. You know, they have a good team. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Like you said, he was the MVP for a good reason. He deserved it. He showcased why he deserved it in this game. So when you put all those pieces together and you show what he just did on Sunday night, if they're able to continue to do that same thing and everything goes well, they don't have injuries that are major that can cause problems down the line. I think this is a year where they're able to get back to the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's hard to count them out, but I mean, there's so many top tier teams in the AFC with these top tier quarterbacks. And like last year, the Bills did the Bills beat the Ravens last? No, the Ravens beat the shit out of the Bills in the regular season, and then the
But
Bills
not the
beat them in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll flip because you could say the same thing about the Ravens. Like, is this finally the year where they get over the hump? But I mean, I
It's
have money on the Bills, but because I always do. The first bet I place every offseason is Bills to win the Super Bowl, and thus far has not paid off. But I will say that I've had this weird feeling, and I get these like weird feelings, like when the Dolphins were the best team in the league a couple years ago, and I just had this feeling that they were going to go in the tank and the Bills were going to win the division, and it played out exactly how I felt it. I have this feeling this is finally going to be the year that Josh Allen gets hurt, just because he plays so physical, he runs so hard.
He's a big guy, though. He's
Oh
strong. I
yeah,
think he's strong enough to keep himself from getting injured.
but all it takes is someone just falling into your knee the wrong
It's
way.
true.
I'm not trying to wish it on them. I maybe in the back of my mind I was when Diggs was on the team because I will always have some kind of animosity towards Stephon
Is
Diggs
he
until
still
we
with
win
the
the Super Bowl.
Texans?
No, he's on the Patriots.
Ugh, no wonder they lost.
Yeah, but I wouldn't wish this on the Bills. I love the Bills. The Bills are a sister team to the Vikings and just misery. But I don't know. I just had this weird feeling, and just so often people are talking about the Bills, and I just catch these little comments of like, as long as Josh Allen stays healthy, and it's said in a very like innocuous sort of in passing way, but I fixate on them. Like, I don't know. I just feel something in the air. I hope not because I love watching them and I want, even if they don't get to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, I want to see them beat the Chiefs. I just
Oh,
do. I
me
want to
too.
see them get over that hump.
Like,
And this could be the year they get the 1 seed because the Chiefs have a very tough schedule. They play in a very tough division. The Ravens play in a tough division. The Bills have an easier schedule than those guys. They already got a leg up on the Ravens and the Chiefs now. So I
I
think you
mean,
want to have it to go through Buffalo. If it's snowing in fucking late January in Buffalo in a championship game, Patrick Mahomes ain't going in there and getting that done.
listen. If they are able to do that, and the Buffalo Bills are able to close out that stadium with home playoff games and then make it to the Super Bowl, that's just that's poetry in motion.
Oh yeah.
That's just beautiful writing. That it will be perfect for them to be able to just close out that stadium. This is our last season. We're making it to the playoffs. We're the one seed. We got home games. We got the first bye, and then they make it to the Super Bowl. That's just like the best swan song that stadium can have.
Oh yeah.
But they're not gonna win the Super Bowl though.
Well, I assume I know who you're talking about. We'll get there in a minute. A couple other quick things I wanted to say on this game. Uh, Keon Coleman looked good. He had over 100 yards. He looks like he might take a step in year two. I believe he only had 29 catches last year as a rookie, and then he had 8 in the first game. Plus that
Good,
touchdown on the deflection was very nice. So hopefully for them, he's turning the corner.
Good stuff from the start. That's what I'm gonna say. He that touchdown catch was insane. I thought that was down on the floor, but he got it. Yeah, good for
It's
him.
just good heads up football, like to be able to adjust because he's running his route thinking about the ball coming to him, and you got to like in a split second realize, oh shit. So hopefully he's turning. Keon Coleman is a very likable guy. He's a very memeable guy. He seems like a good dude. So and the Bills need that new number one receiver. They don't need it because Josh Allen makes everybody better, but it helps to have it, especially when you're not paying them a lot.
They need a face. They just need a face in that receiver room.
Yeah.
That's just it. Every team needs at least one face in each position that that takes them to the next level, and maybe he's that guy.
The other thing about this game is, and I said it to you, you say it all the time. It's the Ravens are gonna Raven, and it's just 3, maybe 4 times a year they're gonna have a lead late in the fourth quarter, and they're just gonna fuck it up somehow. I don't know why. In this case, I think, and I hate this. Teams do this. I've watched football for over 20 years, and I don't understand why. You're playing defense. You're playing in an effective manner. You're holding a guy like Josh Allen. He's playing well, but not like at a nuclear level. And then you just get conservative and you're playing soft cover two, and they just pick you apart. And then on offense, like it's just run, run. We got to run the clock down. It's like, no, get a first down. You can run here and run off 40 seconds, or you can go try and get a first down, and then you can run 2 minutes off the clock. Lamar, like I said, he's having a super efficient day. He completed like 74% of his passes, whatever it was, 73.68%. Like, you got to trust the guy. Like,
Running the clock
don't be
down.
conservative. Play the way you've been playing.
Running the clock down at what, like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter? Come on, it's that's not a good strategy. I'm sorry, it's not. You can try it, but it's not going to help you at all. You're giving a lot of time to these players to actually make a move defensively for you to fuck up or at least make a mistake that will cost you. Like what happened? They got that forced fumble, and that's it. That was it. There's no
I mean,
clock to run down anymore. You just got to worry now about the team not scoring on your defense, and unfortunately, they did multiple times in that in those 10 minutes. They just ran over your defense.
we talk
There's
about
no
the football
excuse.
gods. We talk about the football gods a lot on this show, and that's like one of the quickest ways to I don't want to say piss off the football gods, but make them kind of turn their luck on you is you're playing great and then you just start playing soft and conservative and like just trying to get out of the game. Like you want to run the clock, but it's unless you're inside 2 minutes, like you pass the ball. Don't throw it all over the place, but you got to have some balance. If you're just running, they're going to sell out to stop the run, and it's going to slow everything down in a bad way. It's just I hate when teams do this. I don't know if this is always why the Ravens raven and blow some of these games, but it's a pattern that their defense plays lights out, and then they start playing soft cover two. And cover two might have worked 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It's at this point a situational tactic to be deployed. But if you're just running cover two, especially with the reigning, defending MVP of the National Football League. They're going to pick apart cover two. It is not difficult to sit back and run route concepts to pick apart cover two. Like it's just not. It's not the move. It's
Hey,
not the move.
it's 2 years in a row where the Ravens get a heartbreaking game to start the season. So we'll see
Yeah.
where this takes them. We'll see. Last season they were able to get done and get back to the playoffs. So we'll see how this season goes for them. But 2 years back to back, heartbreaking losses on week one. First with the Chiefs, that call about the inches of the foot on the line, whatever, and then this year just letting their defense not working for them and Josh Allen just running through them. So we'll see what happens this season. The Ravens. I mean, they got who they got next. They got let's see. I got my notes here. My bad. Next, they have the Browns. So hopefully they are able to get that done. I mean, the Browns look good, but Joe Flacco cannot. I love Joe Flacco, but he's not gonna. You know, he's not. He's no Josh Allen. He's not gonna be able to put that team on his back on his own. So
Yeah, and then when he does, the receiver's just going to drop the ball and fling it up in the air, and it gets
or the
picked
kicker's
off
gonna
by
miss a
some
kick.
scrub. Yeah. But you talked about the Chiefs. Let's talk about the Chiefs game real quick. The Chargers and the Chiefs from Brazil, Friday night. Interesting game. What did you think about that game?
Honestly, I thought Mahomes was going to have a really bad night and the Chiefs was going to win. We didn't do a pick show before the week one started, but I did pick the Chiefs to win that game, and I was wrong. I also made a prediction that the Chiefs are going to win that game despite Mahomes having a bad night. Now, he didn't have a bad night. He didn't have a great night. He didn't have a classic Mahomes night, but he did not have a really bad night. My impression from that game was I think there's trouble. I think the dynasty is in trouble. I'm not saying the dynasty is over. I'm not saying that they're done. They're not going to be making back to the Super Bowl. They're not going to be winning more championships. But I think there is trouble in paradise. I think they need to look within themselves what the issues are. You saw them fighting with each other. Travis Kelce dislocated Xavier Warrior's shoulder by running into him. There's
Yeah.
yelling between the players in the sidelines. There's Chris Jones yelling at another player. You got Kelsey yelling at the lineman, making mistakes. There's trouble in paradise, and if they do not fix those issues, they are not going to be back to the Super Bowl. They're not going to be the number one seed. They're not going to be as dominant as they used to be. That was my take from that game. Also, Justin Herbert, Mr. If No More, maybe this season. He had a night. He had a night, and it was a good night for him, and they were able to get it done. Close game, though. Very close game.
Well, I'm a certified Justin Herbert hater.
You're a Herbert hater?
Excellent regular season quarterback. Like we've seen this when the Chargers played the Vikings a couple years ago, just carved them up. Like Justin Herbert is a supremely talented quarterback. I got to see it in the playoffs before I'm willing to move off him being like, and it's not his fault that he's overrated. It's the people that say he's a top 5 quarterback when he hasn't. Like, you can't put him above Jared Goff. In my opinion, you can't put him above Baker Mayfield right now. You can't put him above Jalen Hurts, whose jersey you're wearing right now, who's been to 2 Super Bowls, who's won a Super Bowl. Is he maybe a more talented thrower of the football?
Yeah.
That if you're just talking about pure quarterbacking, sure. But that ain't how you win championships.
It's all
you got to win in the playoffs to win championships.
Yeah, it's not about these stat nerds all over the place. These analysts that just care about stats. Stats don't mean anything. Like I've told you before, the only stat that matters are the win and loss columns. That's it. Everything else is for the player and for the coaches and for the ownership of the team. And if you have great stats, I know that's going to make more money for you. But if you get them wins, that's going to be more important. So if you're not winning playoff games, if you're not winning championships, what does that make you? Just he's a talented guy. That's it. You cannot place a player above another player just because he throws the ball farther. Okay, good for him. How many Super Bowls has he won? How many playoff games has he won? Oh, not that many. 0. It doesn't. Then that doesn't matter.
And
He
it's
can
not
have
even just zero. It's the 4 touchdown blown lead against the Jaguars and then throwing 4 interceptions against the Texans last year. Like, it's not just like, oh, they lost a tight game. It's like he loses in spectacular fashion. It's not all his fault, but it's like, and I'll say it with
it's
my
a
own
team
coach,
game.
Kevin O'Connell, one of the best coaches in the league. But people say like, oh, Kevin O'Connell, he's a top 5 coach in the league. I'm like, I love Kevin O'Connell. I wouldn't want anyone else coaching my team than Kevin O'Connell, but we haven't won a playoff game. I'm not going to sit here and put him above some other coaches. He hasn't won a playoff game yet. Lead my team to some playoff wins, and then I will put you in the top 5. Justin Herbert has the ability to be top 5, but he's got to get it done where it counts.
I think people and analysts in general, they have this problem where they like to place a quarterback above everybody else on the team. And I mean, it's fine. It's a quarterback sport. They are the ones who manage the team, the game. I mean, game manager, that's a horrible insult for people. I don't know why that's an insult. But they're the ones who are in charge
Yeah.
of the field. So, of course, they're important. They're the most important part of the team. But this is a team sport. Okay? So, you can have a great quarterback with great stats, but if the O-line is trash, if your receivers are dropping balls, if your running back can't get 5 yards, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You need a full team. And when it comes to individual stats, it's relevant to the game. It's irrelevant to the broader aspect of it, of just winning a championship. It's relevant to the player, and that's it. That's it. That's what the stats are for the player individually. But when it comes to what the actual stat that matters is, it's just how many games have you won, how many playoff games have you won, how many championships have you won. That's
Let
it.
me put it to you like this: 2004, Peyton Manning set all the passing records. Who won the championship that year? The Patriots. 2007, Tom Brady broke all those records. Who won the championship that year? The Giants. 2013, Peyton Manning broke all the records again. Who won the championship that year? The Seahawks. It ain't about the stats. The stats are fun. It's fun to watch. It shows that you're on a certain level. You have a certain amount of ability, but especially with quarterbacks, we get so caught up in the physical ability and the stats and the talent, and it doesn't come down to that. Like, it's important. You need to have a baseline of ability to be a legit guy, but it's the immeasurable, intangible thing that is what allows you to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Like, Jalen Hurts, super talented guy, but his stoic demeanor, to me, and all the chaos that the Eagles deal with, because the fan base is insane and they're trying to fire Sirianni. They're 4-2, and we got to get this guy out of here. I'll never get over that. And but like, you have a leader on your team that just, he's unfazed by all that, and then when you get on the field, the players understand, like, okay, we're on the field, we're just going to go play ball. Like, you need that extra immeasurable thing. And I'm not saying Herbert doesn't have it, but he's got to get over that hump in the playoffs. All quarter, like, Steve Young had to get the monkey off of his back. John Elway had to get over the hump. It took him into the last 2 years of his career to win Super Bowls. Josh Allen and Lamar both got to get over the Mahomes hump, but there's multiple humps before we get to Super Bowl for Justin Herbert. He just needs to start with lead team to a playoff win and go from there.
I think he just needs to start to just play well every time he's on the field. That's it. Like, once you do that, okay, you're demonstrating that you are in the conversation of the top quarterback. That's fine. That's your proof. But like you said, once you start winning playoff games, that's when you take the next step. So I have faith in him. I think he has what it takes. I think under this new leadership that the Chargers are, I think they're going to do well. I think they have a great O line now. I think their O line is fantastic.
They are
Um,
missing Rashawn Slater for the season, though, so that's kind of a big loss.
it's sad. But
Joe Alt slid over to the left side and did not
you
give up
see
the
that?
pressure,
You
though.
see
So
how well he blocked? you see how well he blocked for him. That was I saw some like I think I saw a highlight of him like legit just like going bam bam bam. You're not going anywhere, and the dude just like he couldn't do anything. I think it was Chris Jones. I don't know who he was blocking. I couldn't see the jersey number, but good for Joe Alt. Good for the Chargers. Uh, but like I said, I think the Chiefs need to sort out a lot of internal issues that are going to cause a lot of problems for them down the road if they don't.
Yeah, let me talk about that. I feel like I haven't talked about the Chiefs at all in this. I will say I was reminded of peak Philly Andy Reid, where they're going to the championship game every year, but they can't get it done. And I'm screaming, even as a neophyte football fan, why doesn't he run the ball more? They got Deuce Staley, they got Brian Westbrook. Pat Mahomes threw 39 passes, and they only had 17 rush attempts, including 6 by Mahomes. No player on their team had more rush attempts than Mahomes did scrambling. No player had more yards running than Mahomes did. Pacheco, 5 carries for 25 yards. That's 5 yards a carry. That's like damn good. Like why are we not
Uh,
running the ball more? This
there's
is the official first run the ball of the 2025 season. Andy Reid, run the ball.
From what I saw, I think the Chargers defense were really good at containing the run game. I think they were really
They
good
didn't
at
even
that.
try.
I
You
mean,
gotta at least give it a shot.
listen, when Pacheco gets going, he gets going. You've seen that before,
So get him going.
but he couldn't get going. Like
They only
every,
gave him 5 carries and he averaged 5 yards a carry. Like
okay, you know
give
what
him
I mean. I'm talking about
12 carries
explosive.
and then
I'm
judge
talking
him.
about explosive plays. I'm talking about him being explosive every single time he has the ball. Because, like I said, there's the mean though. Pacheco looks like he bites you when he runs, and like that's he's an aggressive runner.
Yeah.
He could not get it going. Like every single carry he had, like you said, was just 5 carries. They just stopped him immediately. A couple of yards, bam, he's down. Like the Chargers defense did a good job containing that run defense. Every single time Mahomes scrambled, he was able to get it done, but that's because they were focused on the passing coverage, and that's why he had he had to scramble. But I think the Chargers defense needs to be acknowledged here when it comes to that part.
Oh, the Chargers, terrific defense. Fantastic. They were all over the place.
Yeah, they were there. They did a good job, and I was really impressed with that defense. But yeah, get your shit together, Chiefs. Andy Reid, get your mind out of the burgers and just talk to Kelsey and your players and Chris Jones and Mahomes. Be a leader, Mahomes. You're coming off like a whitey bitch. Come on.
Yeah, you can't get smoked in the Super Bowl and come back and like less commercials, less Taylor Swift. No offense to Taylor Swift, less distractions and get back in the lab because like it's not going to be a cakewalk to the division this year. It's just not. I'm not going to sit here and rant about the regression in one score games and they won 17 in a row, so they're bound to fall back. Like what's the stat? Like 75% of NFL games are one score games. Like the game has been tweaked by the rule makers and the league to generate one score games. So like you're gonna be in a lot of one score games, and that just is what it is. But the Broncos have been gradually taking steps up. Bo Nix did not have a good game, but they still got it done. Their defense is disgusting, and I love the RJ Harvey edition. I guess at some point maybe we'll talk about the Broncos here, but the Chiefs, I don't know, man. To your earlier point about the dynasty not being done, but it's like the Patriots. Like they won the 3 out of 4, and then they kind of dipped, and it took them 10 years to win another one. So like we might be in the dip. I'm not going to write the Chiefs off. I'm not going to sit here and write them off and say they're not going to get it until someone beats them in the AFC or they play the Eagles again, because the Eagles are just designed to beat the dog shit out of the Chiefs as they did in the Super Bowl. Until that happens, I'm not going to write them off, but it's not going to be as easy as it's been for sure. And if they are a wild card team, can they go on the road for 3 games to get back to the Super Bowl? I don't know if they can.
And speaking of the Eagles, Jalen Carter not suspended, so he's going to be itching itching to get a taste of Patrick Mahomes and get some sacks in. So they better get their issues solved before Sunday. That's all I'm going to say.
Great transition to the Eagles. I think that Jalen Carter not being suspended, I think, is very fair. He missed the entire first game. They said that, at least in the alert that I got from
Yeah, yeah,
probably Schefter. It was like, because he missed the whole first game, they're not going to suspend him. To me,
yeah.
that's fair.
$57,000 though. I mean that seems a
I
little
mean,
excessive.
you can't spit on a guy. It's like the most disrespectful thing you could do to a
$57
human.
for the spit.
He's making millions of dollars. $57,000 ain't nothing to him.
I mean,
Shouts out Randy
they're not
Moss,
gonna,
but
they're not gonna. What's it called when they like try to fight it? What's it called? I forgot the word.
it's
But
not worth it. He knows it's
no,
it's not.
they're gonna waste. They're not gonna waste time. He's just gonna focus on the Chiefs, and that's it. That's what
Yeah.
the agent says. Um, but yeah, I mean,
What a start to that game, though. What a way to set the tone for the season. That was fantastic. Like, before we've seen a single snap of the NFL season, we already got people getting thrown out of games.
We got an injured player and a guy spitting on Dak Prescott. Jesus Christ. Right?
I mean, they still got it done. Your boys still got it done. With no help from with all the help from CD Lamb, who could catch a cold out there.
That's karma for you. That's karma. You baited Jalen Carter into doing something stupid that cost him the game, but the football gods were in our favor and they got it done. The Eagles won that game 24-20. CD Lamb cannot catch anything in that fourth quarter. It meant the Cowboys couldn't score a single point in that second half. So good for the football gods for acknowledging the fact that was bad juju from Dak Prescott baiting Jalen Carter by spitting in front of him.
I don't know if he was baiting him, but he definitely.
You saw the footage. He spat on the floor, and then as soon as he did that, he just he was like, challenge him. Come on, he was baiting him. He knew Jalen Carter was going to be a problem. He knew it.
I mean, he didn't put a gun to Jalen Carter's head and make him spit on his chest, but he definitely started the interaction. For sure.
It's Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is known for being a hothead. You saw what happened in New Orleans last season, where Sirianni had to legit calm him down, and one of the coaches had to separate Sirianni and Carter away because they cost him a penalty. They cost him yards because of he has a hot head, he has a short fuse. If you bait Jalen Carter into doing something stupid, the chances of it working are very, very high. So Dak Prescott knew what he was doing.
Yeah, well, it worked until it didn't.
Yeah, it worked. Good for Dak, but they lost. So, but yeah, the Eagles, I'm worried about them. I'm worried about their secondary. They lost a couple of good guys. They lost Slade. They lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So it's going to be rough to adapt and get these new kids ready to be on those roles. Jackson had some issues this first game. Fangio already confirmed that he's going to be CB2, so he's going to be starting. But I'm concerned about that aspect. I'm not really concerned about any other aspect from the game. I think the pass rush still look good without Carter. They didn't get any big sacks or anything like that, but they still apply some pressure in there. So good for them. Offensively, people are complaining about AJ Brown and Smitty not getting any passes, but if you look at the actual footage, the Cowboys defense had them on lockdown. They were not giving them any chances, and Jalen Hurts has become very protective of the ball. He doesn't want to just throw the ball out there and just risking there's a pick or just risk losing the ball and turning it over. So he made the decision. If I can't pass it, if I don't see an opening, I'm just going to run it myself. So he did.
Well, I mean, part of it, too, is the Cowboys, you got Trevon Diggs back healthy. You got DaRon Bland back healthy. People forget. And this ties into my bigger point. You see, you sent me the tiers list of teams, and everyone's just the Cowboys suck. It's I watched that game and I thought exactly what I thought coming into the season. The Cowboys are going to be better than everyone thinks. They won 12 games 3 years in a row, had a
Yeah.
bunch of injuries last
Yeah.
year, and they still won 7 games. Like they're not going to lose all those home games again this year. If
Listen,
they're even slightly more healthy, like the Cowboys will compete for a playoff spot, and I don't know. I don't buy that they're all of a sudden trash. But to me, it makes sense. Like you said, Jalen Hurts takes care of the football, super efficient, completed 82.6% of his passes, only got sacked once, ran for 62 yards. He did what he had to do to win. Until if we're in week 5 or 6 and AJ Brown and Smitty aren't in the mix and he's being very conservative, then you might say like maybe they need to tweak something. If they're losing some games as a result of it, maybe. But like we know who Jalen Hurts is. Jalen Hurts, when he needs to unleash the football, he's going to throw some great balls.
I mean, he
He didn't
did for
need to unleash
Dotson.
the ball.
He did for
Yeah,
Dotson. That was a great pass.
Dotson. We got Dotson.
It was a great pass. I mean, people always forget this. We are in the midst of yet another new offensive coordinator for the Eagles.
Yeah,
So it's also a point where they have to transition and get you know we need to see how this works out. We need to see how this plays out. It's week one. We like you said, we gotta wait and see how this goes. But I am not worried about offensively. I'm not worried. I'm worried about Landon Dickerson's health. I think that knee injury, they did not give him proper time for him to heal. I think he just got that surgery. I think it was like a month of rehab. I don't think that was enough. I think he should, maybe not play against the Chiefs, but I'm pretty sure he's not gonna, allow that. He's a leader. He wants to participate and be part of it. Um, so I'm worried about that injury wise. I think injuries are the most uh, preoccupying. Well, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm more worried about injuries than anything else when it comes to the Eagles' offensive uh, weapons and the offensive line. AJ had some hamstring issues, and yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm not worried about anything else offensively. I'm worried more defensively when it comes to that safety situation where we're not really sure who's going to be playing where, and if they are able to do a good job at that position. So we'll see what happens.
yeah. I mean, defensively, they didn't have any sacks, and obviously Jalen Carter was ejected, and you lost a bunch of pieces along the front because Howie Roseman drafts all the defensive linemen that I fall in love with during the draft. I obviously am bullish on a lot of the guys like Jalix Hunt, Moro Ojimo. Like I like these guys, but that combined with the questions with the depth in the secondary, we got to see how this plays out. Because like if CD catches those handful of balls, like
Yeah,
this
it's a
could
different
be a
game.
different game, and we might be sitting here saying, is the Eagles' defense gonna be a problem this year?
Yeah,
And then you got to factor in Jalen Carter is the most important player on that defense as a pass rushing nose tackle, in my opinion.
yeah.
But I wouldn't hit the panic button by any stretch, but it is something I think worthy of keeping an eye on. I think Dallas probably should have won that game, but they didn't. So it is what it is. And like we said with the Justin Herbert situation, it's the most important stat is wins and losses. So
Hey, it was Dak's Super Bowl. He lost it.
I do also want to mention here before we move off of this game, Stephen Ruiz of whatever publication he writes for, he he does QB rankings every week throughout the season. He released his preseason QB rankings where he had Jalen Hurts ranked 13th best quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback, Jalen Hurts, 13th best quarterback in the league. And the most notable name ahead of him, he had Geno Smith, who did have a monster game, but he had Geno Smith ninth.
Jesus. Ninth?
I don't know. I don't know about that. To me, that's blatant disrespect to Jalen Hurts. Like I'm not gonna
People
put
don't like,
Jalen
I don't know
Hurts
why
in
people
the
don't like
Mahomes
Hurts.
class, but yeah,
I don't understand why
it's
people don't like Hurts. Maybe it's just the way he expresses himself, like in like quotations from motivational books. I don't know what it is. People don't like him, but you know who likes him? Michael Jordan. That's good enough for me.
He doesn't put up the monster stats. Like he does whatever is needed in the moment
to win.
to get the win. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to
That's
win.
good quarterback play.
I mean, the best quote he's ever done, the best quote he has ever given in an interview or a press conference, I should say, was "Money's nice, championships are better." That's all he cares about. He just cares about winning, and that's the most important thing. People need to realize this. It's not about stats. It's about winning games. How many wins, how many losses, how many championships. That's it. It's simple. It's a simple formula. Why is this so complicated to some people? To most
It's
people.
4D chess. You got to play. I talked about this last year with the Chiefs and how you have to play 4D chess to beat the Chiefs. It's what do you need to do in this particular game against this particular opponent in this particular situation on this particular down to maximize your chances of winning. And sometimes that's not throwing a bunch of rainbow balls to A.J. Brown. Sometimes it's just being efficient, taking what's there, taking advantage of matchups. You got Deron Bland and Diggs on your top two receivers. Pick on somebody else. Let Dotson eat for a game. Like by the end of the year, A.J. Brown's going to have his 1,000 yards. Smitty's going to have his 1,000 yards. Nobody's going to remember this. It's fine.
Yeah, definitely fine, especially because next week we have the Chiefs. And I'm sorry, but the Chiefs corners are not as good as those two corners you just mentioned.
No. Is Trent McDuffie hurt? I think he might be hurt.
I'm not really sure. I'm not.
If he's hurt, then that's even bigger issues. I don't know.
Well, what's next? What's the next game we're talking about? Or are we talking about anything else besides your Monday Night Football victory?
No, we'll get to that. Because I want to talk about this Tampa Bay Atlanta game. I watched. That was my biggest focal point in the 1:00 games. And it was a fun game to watch. I don't know how much of it you saw, but it was.
I only saw the highlights. I only catch the highlights. I was very interested in the Steelers Jets narrative, which was also a good game.
Oh yeah,
it had a great ending. I don't know if you saw the ending, but that was a monster tackle.
All right, let's go to the Jets and Steelers game, the Aaron Rodgers revenge game.
Well, one of my predictions was Rodgers is going to ball out. He did it. He did all right. Well, he got it done, and he let the Jets fans know, like, yeah, you see, it's not my fault. Your organization was trash, and I'm in a new one, and they have some weapons, and I'm going to use them and take advantage of it. But that game was also won by the defense. I mean, Rodgers was able to get some stuff done, but that defense, that Steelers defense has always been good, and they were able to get it done for the Jets. I'm really impressed with what's his name? Jesus. The Jets quarterback, former Bears
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, Mr. Toad Face himself. I'm sorry, Justin. But you have a toad face. He was really good. He was also very, very good. I think he finally found his team. And I think the Jets finally found their quarterback. And I'm seeing a lot of improvement in the Jets as a team as well. The game ended 34-32, I believe. It was also a close game. And it was a very competitive game. It was very back and forth. It was a shootout, surprisingly. But that defense from both teams, they showed up and they were able to get stuff done. And that last tackle by the Steelers defense to seal the game was a thing of beauty. It was like old school 70s football. It was beautiful.
This was a very popular pick for the under for total points. I'm glad I didn't bet on that. I thought about it, but I don't think anyone thought we were going to come in here and get a 34-32 game, but sure enough. And to your point about Justin Fields, it was the most comfortable I've seen him. It was the most confident I've seen him. I feel like they're tailoring the offense specifically to his skill set, where like the Bears are who we thought they were, which is they will habitually fuck up quarterbacks. When he was with the Bears, they were trying to force a square peg into a round hole, and then outside of that, shit would break down and he would run around and do all the exciting Justin Fields stuff. Whereas it felt like, at least in this game, and you don't want to overreact to one game, it felt like they found a balance to like, we're going to get you comfortable working on schedule, in structure, in the pocket, but we're going to design a lot of runs to mix in there to let you get into a groove doing what you're comfortable with, as opposed to scrambling because everything's breaking down. Like it looks the same, but it's a totally different effect when it's like the O-line's breaking down or you're just not comfortable going through your progression, so you scramble out and make a big play happen. It doesn't necessarily build a rhythm, but when the play calls are coming in for designed runs and you're mixing that in with some simple passing concepts or just some quarterback friendly plays to get the ball into a playmaker's hands, when you're marrying all these together with the play calling creates a rhythm within the quarterback. The quarterback gets into a rhythm, and then everything becomes easier. And it felt like the bits and pieces of this game I saw, it felt like the play calling was really dialed into Justin Fields' strengths, as opposed to trying to force him to be one thing and then stuff breaking down because he's not super comfortable doing that. So then him doing all the other stuff, like it felt very harmonized, which he just looked like he was having fun. He looked confident, and they put up a ton of points.
Yeah,
It's hard to argue with it.
It was a shootout, and like I said, he just I completely agree with everything you said. He just looked that he was in it. He mentally he was there. He was not mentally broken like he was with the Bears. He was just there, and he got it done. I'm not sure why the Steelers didn't take advantage of him. I think they were just relying too much on Russell Wilson. I think the Steelers could have used him better. But when it comes to this Jets team, it looks like they're giving him a chance. And they are betting on him, and I think they are doing the right thing.
I think he was a smart signing because they got him for about $20 million a year, and like him, Baker Mayfield, even like Sam Darnold did not have a great game. It wasn't like a terrible game, but $30 million. If you can get one of the Geno Smith, even though he got the pay bump, is still like in that middle tier of quarterback money. I think if you could get a guy from between 20 to 35, maybe $40 million versus paying Dak Prescott $60 million, that extra 15 to 20 to $30 million, that's a lot of players that you can add depth to your team.
Yeah.
You can go get a splash signing. Like if you don't know for a fact that you have the guy, I would much rather pay Geno or Sam Darnold or Justin Fields 20 to 40 million, or Baker Mayfield, who is due a raise. If he might have got one this offseason, I would much rather do that than like pay Tua 55 million or 53 million, pay Trevor Lawrence 55 million. Like you're betting there, but it's a hard bet because that's again 15 to 30 million dollars you can spend to fill out your roster. Like it works for the Eagles with Jalen Hurts, and it's proven because he won a Super Bowl. Like he's not putting up the stats of these top guys, but Howie Roseman knows how to draft, and the team and the coaching staff knows how to develop. Like they're not typically hurting for depth. Like the Eagles don't need to fill a bunch of holes. So you could pay Jalen Hurts. And the way they structured his contract was brilliant by pushing out. There's like a cap hit of like $90 million coming down the pipe, but it's right after the league renews the rights deal for the TV rights, where the cap is going to shoot up another 30 million. So like it's the Eagles play 5D chess when it comes to everything, and like most other teams are playing tiddlywinks. It's terrible.
Checkers.
Yeah. But I like the bet on Justin Fields. It's low risk. You get him for a couple years, $20 million each, and you're pushing your chips in with him, saying you are our guy. We're gonna build the offense around you, do whatever we can do to make you comfortable. And then the reemergence of my guy, one of my fantasy heroes from when I came out of retirement in 2022, Breece Hall, 19 carries for 107 yards. I'm always gonna root for him, so I was happy to see him kind of bounce back a little bit. But on the flip side, vintage Rodgers, 73% completion, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. He didn't come in and like install his offense and bring in fucking what's his name?
Adams.
No, Devontae, we could bring in Devontae, but Nathaniel Hackett, we didn't bring him in trying to call plays or anything like that. He operated Arthur Smith's offense, and it feels like they got something going there.
I feel like Rogers just knows this is his last season, more than likely. So he's just gonna have fun with it. He's not gonna try to force anything to happen. He's just gonna go with it. Whatever Tomlin says, he's just gonna accept it, and he's gonna try to work it out and see if it works. So good for him, good for Rogers, and good for Justin Fields too. I'm happy for the kid.
Yeah. Couple revenge games. I feel like both quarterbacks showed their old team like
Yeah.
you might have missed the boat on me, but there's nothing scarier in the NFL right now than Aaron Rodgers out for revenge. I saw it for a long time when he was with the Packers. You do not want this dude with a chip on his shoulder against you. He will assassinate you, and that's what he did.
Listen, that narrative is the reason why I decided to pay attention to that game. That was the game, the 1 o'clock game that I wanted to pay attention to because I really wanted to see what went down with that narrative. But I know you were paying attention to another game, which was a really close game. So talk to me about Buccaneers and the Falcons.
Right before we get in, I just want to say, Pittsburgh, can we get Caleb Johnson some more carries? They did not have hardly any run game in this game, and I get Aaron Rodgers was slinging the rock. I'm not going to sit here and argue with the results, but we got to get Caleb Johnson some carries. That guy is going to be a stud if you let him be a stud.
Convinced Tom.
But yes, Tampa and Atlanta was a very fun game to watch. Super inefficient day for Baker Mayfield. There wasn't a ton of mistakes. He didn't turn the ball. He might have had a fumble. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, I think I heard something.
But he didn't throw any picks. But it was rough. It was a rough day with the efficiency.
I think the Falcons have found something. I don't know what it is.
They found Michael Penix rocking the do-rag in Atlanta. That's what they found.
Besides that, but I'm talking about defensively. I think they have something. So for the first time in a couple of years, I'm going to say this. That NFC South is going to be fought between those two teams. So who's going to win it?
Yeah, I mean, last year the Falcons caught the Bucs twice.
Yep.
And that was another one of my great predictions when all the receivers got hurt and the Falcons were off to the races. And I said, you watch Baker Mayfield playing in these games. He is playing his ass off, and this team is not going to give up. And they're not going to say, oh, Mike Evans is out. Oh, Chris Godwin's out. We can't get it done. Baker Mayfield kept the fire burning. I said that so many times last year. I said they're going to win the division.
I really hope the Falcons win. I really hope the Falcons win. I really hope the Tampa Bay doesn't make the playoffs because I cannot stand Tampa Bay. They are the Eagles' freaking chip where every single time they play, we just get beat by them. I don't know why. It just happens. We only beat them once.
You guys got a game coming up, I think, here in the next couple
we do.
weeks.
We do. I don't know why we always face them. It's ridiculous, but whatever. We're going to – at Tampa, too. When are they going to go to Philly? Why are we going back to Tampa? Why? Well, why can't they go to Philly? Whatever.
You got to get the monkey off your back. But I got the stats pulled up. Baker Mayfield, 17 for 32, only 167 yards, 53% completion, 1 sack, no fumbles, no interceptions, and he did throw 3 touchdowns. So, he got it done when it counts. Obviously, they got a new offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen. Duval is now the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. At some point, we'll poke in on that game a little bit. But watching the game, I was like, damn, man, Baker's my guy. I love Baker. I love watching him do his thing. And he was just off the whole day. But when it's nut-cutting time, he made the throws. He found a way to get it done. It was a slobber knocker of a game. And I got to say, shouts out to rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. This is he was on the team when Ohio State, you had Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. There might have been someone else in there. Like the amount of first-round pick receivers, Jackson Smith and Jigba, you had 5 first-round pick wide receivers come out of that Ohio State team over the course of a few years. I think Emeka Egbuka is going to be the best of all of them. Marvin Harrison has the genes. He had a solid game. We'll see if he can live up to his
Yeah.
billing. But they were raving about this on Chris Godwin, I guess, told them in the production meetings. Emeka Egbuka, as a rookie, week one, he knows all of the different wide receiver positions. That is not normal. Like the reason Justin Jefferson is as good as he is, when Kevin O'Connell came over, like he was already fantastic, but Kevin O'Connell came over, said, "Hey, I'm Kevin O'Connell. I'm your coach." Justin Jefferson said, "How the hell is Cooper Kupp open all the time?" He said, "Because he knows every receiver position on the field, and you're going to learn how to do that too." And that's why Justin Jefferson won Offensive Player of the Year in 2022. Emeka Egbuka is doing that as a rookie, week one. He knows the entire playbook from all positions, from the slot, from the X, from the Z. It's there's something special there. Like you hate to buy in too much to like the talk trickling out of camp and stuff like that, but through the draft process, through training camp, everything that I've heard about Emeka Egbuka is he's a tremendous athlete, great receiver, but he's got a special mind for the game. So I
Hey,
think it was a luxury pick with Evans and Godwin, but Emeka Egbuka is going to be a guy for sure.
2020 hindsight. I guess time will tell. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm sad about the Falcons. I want the Falcons to do well because I'm still heartbroken by the fact that they lost that Super Bowl in a horrendous fashion. I want them
Too
to do
bad.
well. Um, I like what I saw from the highlights that I was able to catch from that game. I don't have that much to say about the game. I just want the Buccaneers to lose and suffer. But yeah, I think the Falcons might have a shot at winning that division this year, from what I saw.
Oh, they're gonna have a shot because they're gonna play a second place schedule, so they should get a. It should be a little bit easier of a schedule than the Bucks because the Bucks, the Bucks got to play. Well, we'll see because like Detroit versus playing Minnesota, like who knows how that's gonna work out with Detroit losing some linemen and. But you got to play the Eagles versus the Commanders. I think the Eagles are going to be better than the Commanders this year. So we'll see how it shakes out. But
The Bucks
I
got the
mean,
Texans next. They got the Texans next, and then the Falcons have where are you?
Caesar, I'm
Oh,
gonna tell you right
yeah, the
now, me,
Vikings.
me, and you and two homeless dudes off the street could get about 4 or 5 sacks on the Texans' offensive line. So I ain't worried about the Bucks. But Michael Penix, if you go back, one of the first episodes of this show I did was before the draft. Um, I think it was before the draft, and I went through my quarterback rankings where I had Caleb Williams last. Bo Nix lives in his own world. Bo Nix was, if Sean Payton drafts him, he's going to be good. If anyone else drafts him, he's fucked. But I had JJ number one, my boy, my godson. Jaden Daniels number two. Before everyone started slurping Jaden Daniels, I said, watch out for the kid. He's been in the VR with the AI, and he's got some shit figured out. And I had Michael Penix number three. They said he was immobile. They said he was not an athlete, and I believed it because I watched some Michael Penix in college, and I didn't see him moving around. And he looked pretty damn mobile to me in that game. He was moving around. 27 for 42, 298 yards, 64% completion percentage. He only had one touchdown. He only got sacked once, 93 passer rating. He was distributing the ball. Was this here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different guys caught balls. Bijan Robinson had 100 yards receiving. Kyle Pitts,
Bijan
59. Huh?
receiving. Bijan Robinson receiving.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% sold on him as a running back. I'm like his first year was solid. Last year, very good. But people are like, "Oh, he's a top 3 running back." It's like let's see him be a top 5 running back 2 years in a
Yeah,
row before we start getting too crazy on it. Because he 12 carries for 24 yards in this game. So I mean, granted, you're running straight into Vita Vea, who is
yeah.
2 men in one body. But Michael Penix, man, I just Penix with the do-rag was built for Atlanta, baby. There is no other team where you could have a quarterback with a do-rag that's going to make more sense than in the Magic City. It just It was built to be.
looking like Jamie Foxx in any given Sunday.
Oh yeah, just fantastic. He's got the do rag on in his official NFL photo. I don't think he's ever been pictured without the do rag. He might have been born with the do
Is he
rag.
bald?
He might be. I don't know, but he looks smooth with the do rag. You love to see it. But him and Kirk looked like they had a good rapport on the sideline. Kirk was laughing, yucking it up with the boys. So I mean, he knows he's collecting $40 million. It's absolutely fucking nothing but hold a Microsoft Surface. But he's a pro. He's going to help him. He won't be in there on Tuesdays. He always takes Tuesdays off. But the Falcons offense should be good. Drake London, I think he might be injured. I heard this in passing, but I don't know any details. I mean, Kyle Pitts is like fantasy owners know, like he's like the constant, like this is the year he's going to break out. But he had 7 catches for 59 yards. You got Ray McCloud who can catch some balls. They got some pieces on the offense. Again, they only gave up 1 sack. I know they lost Drew Dahlman to Chicago, their center.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? McGarry, I think I don't know if he's out for the season, but he's going to be out for a while. So that could be an issue. But again, Michael Penix looked mobile to me, so he might be able to mitigate that a little bit. It's the pass rush. I got a stat the other day. It's been in the last 12 years, nobody on Atlanta has had more than 6.5 sacks in a season.
Jesus.
In the past 12 years. But they drafted 2 edge rushers in the first round. So we'll see if through the season those guys can kind of get up to speed, create some pass rush. But I do have to say, and this is my last bit on this game, they could have a great secondary. Like Jesse Bates is a fantastic player. AJ Terrell is a great player. But Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman Jr., 2 rookies that I liked. I was eyeing Xavier Watts in the draft, and the Falcons traded up right ahead of the Vikings and drafted him, and the Vikings traded back and ended up taking Ty Felton. But they look pretty solid from what I saw. So yeah, I mean, if
sorry, I was just gonna say they should help the Eagles because we need them.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are a team on the rise, in my opinion. I don't know what the season's going to look like, but obviously, like they had a hot start last year. Like until Kirk completely fell apart, like they looked like a legit top 3 NFC team. So
yeah, I mean, I'm really sure what happened there, but it's a new year, and I feel like they can get it done. I mean, we just got to check the schedules and see how they're both looking. I'm not really sure what the schedule are for either one of those teams, but maybe the Bucks fall to second place in the division this year instead of winning yet again in the division.
Yeah. You got to talk about Detroit and Green Bay.
Oof.
That was a game that got out of hand real quick.
I'm worried.
Are you?
Worried about Green Bay?
Green Bay?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, you're worried as an Eagles fan. You're worried about Green Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm worried about Green Bay as an Eagles fan. I feel like defensively they can be an issue with Micah Parsons.
He's just a situational pass rusher. Can't defend the run. We got to get him out of here. We need to defend the run.
We'll see what happens, but they look solid. Green Bay look very solid. I'm more worried about the Lions and how they look without their old coordinator. So we'll see what happens there. But I feel like they have a lot to work with, and they better figure it out quick.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's really down on the Lions. Like, there's a lot of like, oh, I don't think they're gonna make. Even before the loss, a lot of like, I don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs. The brain drain with the coordinators is a factor. Like the Eagles, like from after your first trip to the Super Bowl under Sirianni, where both guys got plucked, and then the next year was kind of you made the playoffs and won 11 games, but it was kind of it kind of fell apart a little bit. But for me, the bigger concern I had coming in, and then was sort of confirmed for me watching the game, was Frank Ragnow, Pro Bowl center, retires. Kevin Zeitler, Pro Bowl guard, signs with the Titans. Now they got Christian Mahogany and great name, and Tate Ratledge, also great name. I like both of those guys, but they're going to have to grow up real quick because that defensive front for Green Bay was on Goff's ass. And if we know anything about Goff, it's if he's got all the time in the world, he is a machine, he is an assassin, and he will pick you apart. But if you get any type of pressure on him, he falls apart. So
Yeah,
if they don't get up to speed, and then also from a run game perspective, 20 carries for 44 yards between Montgomery and Gibbs combined.
that's
This
not
is a
good.
team that ran over everybody the last couple years. 44 yards combined on 20. It's not even like, oh, we only ran it 5 times because we were getting blown out. 20 carries for 44 yards combined. So they pass protection they had issues, and run blocking they had issues.
Okay, but is that a defense problem? About not a problem, but is that a testament to the defense on the other side, or is that just a problem offensively?
I mean, I think it's got like I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect the Packers defense, but people that follow the Packers, like there's some guys on there that you're kind of waiting for them to take the next step. Is this the next step? Obviously, you add Micah Parsons in, he's going to get after the quarterback, but you lose Kenny Clark, who is a massive run stopper in the middle that they weren't necessarily prepared for.
Yeah, we
Like they
saw.
were kind of just assuming that he was going to be on the team, and then they saw an opportunity to go get Micah, so they did. So without disrespecting the Packers, who I think are going to have a really good defense, at least their front has the makings of a really good defense. I think it's just Mahogany and Ratledge are going to have to step it up real quick because it looked rough pretty consistently on that interior offensive line.
Oh yeah, definitely. I I want the Lions to do good, but
I don't.
I feel like I know you don't. I know you don't want any of these teams to do good, but
Nope.
I like the team. I like the culture that Dan Campbell was able to install there. I just think that the Lions need to figure those things out if they want to be as successful as they've been for the past 2 years. So we'll see if they're able to get it done. Packers, well, you know, first of all, we got to talk about this. Fuck the Packers. Fuck the Cheeseheads. Sorry for any fans out there. If you do not like push, the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it, just fucking deal with it. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get it done. We're gonna get it out of there. Go put another claim in there or whatever you want to do. Just deal with it. Bunch of pussies. Um, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm not worried about that defense being really good this year. So we'll see what happens. Maybe
We need more. Listen. The Packers are a playoff team for sure. I will always be concerned about the Packers because I've been conditioned to be concerned about the Packers for over 20 years now. They could be terrible, and I'm still going to be concerned about the Packers. But everyone is ready to crown the Packers. They're going to win the NFC. They're going to be the number 1 seed.
nah.
Not so fast, my friend. Jordan Love, we know, is a hot and cold guy. When he's hot, he's as good as anybody, and he was slinging the rock all over the field during this game. But we got to see him over the course of the season until Jordan Love proves that over a length of time he is going to be consistent and not just suddenly start throwing balls 20 yards over people's heads, 20 yards to the left in the dirt 5 yards in front of them randomly at just random points in time.
We're picks.
I'm not ready to yeah, exactly. I'm not ready to crown them just yet because that's what'll kill you. No matter how good the defense is, no matter how good Matthew Golden looked good, you got a ton of solid at the very least receiving weapons. You got Josh Jacobs. I can't crown them off of one game where it was clear that they just got the jump on the Lions and the Lions just couldn't dig their way out of it. Like I'm not when they play again later in the year, I'm not expecting another just blowout defeat. But the Packers certainly have the potential to be a Super Bowl team. I want to see the consistency from Love, and I want to see the defense continue to be consistent. Because like Micah Parsons is great, but who's stopping the run on the interior? Do you have the bodies there to do that? And then on the back end, like one of their top corners right now is Bo Melton, who was a wide receiver last year. He's not one of their top two, but like you got what, Valentine. I forget which they cut, Ballantyne or Valentine. I don't remember which one, and they kept the other one. Um, so like not terrible players, but there's no like you got Xavier McKinney, but beyond that, the secondary is sort of there's question marks, and there's question marks for my Vikings and their secondary, but I understand how the scheme works. I don't know how the defensive scheme works for the Packers. So it might be a case where you don't need studs in the secondary. So I want to see how it plays out. I'm not disrespecting the Packers at all, but I'm not going to crown them until we see. Yeah, you're right. Fuck the Packers. Bunch of bums.
Don't take him lightly, but fuck the Packers.
Yeah.
Right. You want to talk about the Dolphins being complete trash?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we need to spend a ton of time on that game. Miami is fucking garbage. Mike McDaniel is a snake oil salesman. Blow up the team. They've been on my shit list for two. They were the best record in the league, and they were on my shit list because I could see through it. I could see through the fraudulent clown organization that they are. And I take them off the shit list for one game. One game. I throw a few bucks. I throw more than a few bucks on Miami because I could just smell it. Miami, they're going to bounce back. They're going to beat the Colts. I could feel it in my bones. And this is how you come out. I had all 8 games on my TV, Cesar, all 8 games, and they were front and center on the big TV. And by the end of the first quarter, they had been relegated to the quad box off in the corner. That's how bad this game was. They couldn't make it a quarter into the season before I rage quit the Dolphins and put them. They're on. Every other team is off the shit list. The Dolphins, right now, they are the only team that can occupy space on a shit list. They need the whole list to themselves. 1 through 50. It's all Miami Dolphins. Fuck the Dolphins. Fuck Mike McDaniel. Tua, I'm off the bandwagon. He's a bum. The whole team is bums. Tyreek Hill needs to stop possibly, allegedly abusing his ex-wife. Get them all out of here. Blow up the team. I thought they got pass rushers. They got Jalen Phillips. They got Bradley Chubb. They got Zach Sealer. They got Chop Robinson. They didn't do shit. They got Daniel Jones looking like Joe Montana out here. Indiana Jones all over the place. What? Just get him out of here. I don't want to see a second of Dolphins football the rest of this season. They're dead to me. The entire organization is dead to me. If I saw Dan Marino in the street right now, I'd slap the taste out of his mouth.
That's not his fault. Come on.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. He would have done better if he suited up at 50 whatever years old he is. Garbage. Although I do want to shout out my boy Cam Beasley, now in Indianapolis Colt. Had the first turnover of the season in the first quarter for the Colts, busted out his first celebration of the season. Love to see him still doing his thing. High character guy, brings a good vibe. He's going to help turn that Colts defense around, and we'll see. I mean, are you buying the Colts? Or is this just the Dolphins are that fucking bad?
I have to see another game from the Colts for me to decide. I think they're good. But, I mean, the Dolphins can be ass, but 33 points to what, 8? I mean, that's another level of ass. So you need to change the culture. The players need to be disciplined, and I'm not talking about being punished or anything like that. I think they need to learn discipline and actually work and actually put the work in and make sure that they are actually doing a good job. And I think the head coach needs to be gone. I think Mike McDaniels feels and seems like a problem. You see him in these press conferences. Like he's not making any sense. He's making comments are just like, what is he? Is he on something right now? Like he just feels like Miami has consumed his soul. And he's become a character on Miami Vice, and he's not one of the good guys. That's what he's become. Like he just feels off.
I don't know if an addict who's been clean for a while, I don't know if Miami's the best place for him. I'm not saying he's back in the bottle, but he might be. But all I'm gonna say
He
is
looks off. He looks off.
it's
He could be
it was a
exhausted.
fraud culture. Like him and Kevin O'Connell came in at the same time. They're both very much players coaches that they're not going to be hard asses on the guys. But you see how Kevin O'Connell's culture is built to be sustained. It has not waned at all. If anything, it's gotten stronger over the years. Mike McDaniel, the first couple years with the Dolphins, everyone's having fun. They got the Ferrari Lamborghini offense. He's got the shades and his little capri pants, his joggers on, and he's running around and he's having fun.
He's
Ain't none
dancing.
of that. Ain't nobody having fun now.
Oh
Ain't
no!
nobody having fun in Miami.
If anybody's having fun, they should be fired
Yeah.
because that's not the attitude they should have right now. They should be ashamed. They should be working to be better. They should make changes pronto. They need to make sure that Pitbull is proud to say Miami and Mr. 305. Right now, no, screw that.
I'm making a
But
production note to insert a clip from Remember the Titans where he says, "No, it's not fun anymore, is it? Zero fun, sir.
yeah,
Not
Indiana
anymore."
Jones. I'm not buying him yet, but he had a good game. I mean, Dolphins were bad, but he had a good game. Good for
I
Jones.
also want to shout out Tyler Warren is the truth. They said this guy's going to be the next Brock Bowers, and he looked every bit of it. That kid is electrifying. He's going to be a great player this year. Whether Daniel Jones is improved from his time in the Kevin O'Connell quarterback rehab school or not, Tyler Warren's going to eat this year for sure. Whoever drafted him in fantasy, congratulations.
Speaking of Daniel Jones and his previous predicament, are the Giants done already? Do they need to
No,
rebuild everything?
I do think Russ is cooked, though. Here's what I would do. I would put Jameis Winston out there. I I don't like putting the rookie quarterbacks out there too soon. I would be building up to getting Jackson Dart out there because everything I've heard about Jackson Dart, I didn't know hardly anything about him. I did not
He
research
did
the
good
quarterbacks hardly at
in the
all.
pre games in the
But
preseason. He
I,
did good.
I think he's got a shot to be a guy. Everything I hear, I feel like he might have a good mentality for it. But even then, like, don't rush it. It's not necessary.
Just put
But
Winston
I would
in.
put Jameis out there.
I would,
Jameis, is going to sling it. You're going to win some. You're going to lose some. But Russ,
he's cooked.
he's cooked.
Put a
He's
fork in him.
cooked. He's done. It's over. It was a
It's
great run in
it's sad.
Seattle.
It's sad, but
It is.
I mean, Giants country. That's right. Into the sunset.
Oh man. Oh man.
He,
We will always have the tremendous catchphrase, which I don't
I,
know if I could bust that out this week. Denver, I don't think they played well enough, but
I know Giants. They didn't score a single touchdown. It's been like how many consecutive first game where they don't score a single touchdown. It's they're not looking good. That as an organization, they feel like they're struggling on all sides. Their defense, which was supposed to be good, had no chance of dominating or doing anything against the Commanders. And their offense is just Winston is not it. I'm sorry. Put Winston in there, like you said. At least have some fun. When they put
yeah,
DeVito in there, they didn't expect to win and go to the Super Bowl with DeVito, but at least they were having fun. The,
exactly.
the fans were loving it. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Isn't
that
DeVito now in Miami?
no, he's in New England.
Oh, New England. That's right. That should go to Miami.
It's a shame. It really is a shame because like he's New
He's New
Jersey's
Jersey.
quarterback. Like
Yeah.
he's the mascot. Like you didn't need Russ and Jameis and Jackson Dart. I don't know,
DeVito.
but it's better for DeVito because DeVito is a legit number two wide receiver quarterback. I think he's proven that over the years. So I like that he's in a spot where he is the solidified number two, but I don't know. I still believe in the Giants' defense. I still believe in that front. Sexy Dexy, Brian Burns, you draft Abdul Carter. I've given him the nickname Abdul the Butcher.
Abdul the Butcher. Nice.
Abdul the Butcher and Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, they were getting some pass rush in there. It was a close game for a hot minute, and then Washington kind of just like, I feel like they toyed with their food. Like it wasn't like the most electrifying game that we've seen Washington play. And I think Jaden Daniels got out and ran a little bit. Debo Samuel, I believe, 7 catches for 77 yards, I think, led the game in receiving yards, which was a sponsored prop on the sports book. And I said, you know what? I'm not taking the risk on Debo. He's fat. He's washed. And then, of course, he leads the entire game in receiving. But yeah, I
I
mean,
cannot wait.
I wouldn't put any stock into anything Washington did in this game. I still think there's going to be some regression, and I'm not going to be shocked if they miss the playoffs. But they just, once they realize like, yeah, we're going to beat the Giants, they kind of just like played with them.
I cannot wait for the Eagles to make Debo Samuel cry again.
He's going to be out for revenge.
Yeah, what revenge? He got revenge. He beat the shit out of the Eagles at 2023. I mean, he got what he wanted. Good for him. They didn't beat the Chiefs. We did. Um, Speaking of Tommy DeVito back in the Patriots, is Geno Smith back?
I mean, he looked good. Geno Smith with Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly let him rip that thing. He was
Fuck
throwing the
that guy.
ball all over the field.
Fuck Chip Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Chip Kelly either, but he
Good
for
for
what,
the
397 yards or something like that.
good
Geno
for the
was
Raiders though.
slinging.
Good for the Raiders. Good for them. But fuck Chip Kelly. But
The
they
Pete
did
Carroll
really,
effect is in full effect.
they did really really well.
Brock Bowers is still the truth.
Is his hairline still receding?
Oh yeah,
Have you
oh yeah,
seen Brock Powers?
yeah.
It's like a 20-year-old that looks like a 40-year-old that's hooked on cigarettes and alcohol. I don't know why he looks like that. I feel
Yeah,
sorry for the kid. He
it's
should he
rough.
should just give up and just shave it and just embrace a Raider culture and just get a head tattoo or something.
Oh yeah, like
Like
Bam
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 Bam Bigelow.
Bigelow head. Yes, exactly, 100%. Get a couple little earrings.
That's what he
Bam
should
Bam
do.
Bigelow flame tattoo.
Just go full Max Caster. Just fucking get some fucking gang tattoos and just rock it out. Don't worry about it. You might look the most racist guy on the field next to Max Caster, but you still gotta look like a Raider.
Freudian Max Crosby. This
It's
motherfucker's referencing the fucking acclaimed over here. Fucking AEW references. Awful. We're gonna have to burn the reel on this entire fucking thing.
my bad, Max Crosby.
But yeah, it was a
It's
rough
late here.
debut
It's past
for
midnight.
Ashton Genty, but he'll be fine. It was a tough rushing day all around. I feel like we got the full Drake May effect in this game. 65%, 287 yards, but he had a pick. He got sacked 4 times. But I believe in his mindset. I think he's a guy that, and this isn't like bad by any stretch, but he's a guy I think could be bad for a couple years, and it's not going to like tank his career. I think he's got the similar to Josh Allen. How Josh Allen was pretty bad for 2 years, but it did like his confidence never wavered. I think
Drake May
Drake
will be
May
fine.
all right.
It was a close game too. Like it wasn't like
Yeah,
the Raiders just dominated the Patriots. I think it was a really close game up to the fourth quarter. Like once the fourth quarter happened, that's when the Raiders started to like dominate and make sure that they were not able to get anything done offensively. So I think the Patriots also have some good things to look forward to. I like Mike Gravel. I think he's a great coach. I'm glad he's out of Tennessee. So we'll see how New England treats him and see what he's able to get done with his old team.
I
But
still
yeah,
can't believe the Titans let him go. Well,
they
first of all, I
would,
can't believe they traded AJ Brown, and he
they
he
traded
might have
Derrick Henry
quit.
and AJ Brown. Come on.
I mean, they thought, oh, Derrick Henry, he's gonna be 30, he's washed. Whoops. Nope.
Like I said, like the Tennessee was not a good organization for him. So I'm glad he's somewhere new, and let's see if it works out for him. Speaking of Tennessee, you've been talking about how the Broncos did not have a good, not the Broncos.
This was the Tennessee defense that I said they were going to make the playoffs last year. This was the performance I've been waiting for. Cam Ward, tough debut. He took 6 sacks. He only completed 43% of his passes. No picks, but he did lose a fumble, which I mean, this is why you get a bridge quarterback. I don't care who the rookie is. I don't care that he's the number one pick. I do not want my rookie quarterback starting his career against a defense like the Denver Broncos defense. I don't want it. I don't want to see that happen. I don't care who you put out there. They should have gone and got Tommy DeVito and said, Tommy DeVito, go have fun in downtown Nashville and get prepared to get your ass eaten out by the Broncos when we travel to Denver.
And bring some
I would not want to put my rookie quarterback out there to start his career against a defense like this.
It was not good.
But I mean, Bo Nix, 3 turnovers was not a clean game for Bo Nix. No. And I want more touches for R.J. Harvey. I feel in the same way Bo Nix is meant to be like the Drew Brees for the Sean Payton Broncos. R.J. Harvey to me is the Alvin Kamara for the Sean Payton Broncos. So I'm going to see him get more touches as things go along. But 11 different players caught passes for Denver, despite the rough day for Bo Nix, and they still got it done. So they Titans had a chance at the end. They did have a chance.
They got the win. No, it was a close game too. It was 12-20, I believe, that they lost. And Broncos. I think Bo Nix will be fine. The Broncos will be fine. They just they got caught off guard. They probably went in thinking, it's the Titans. We're gonna eat them up for breakfast. And they underestimated their defense and they underestimated the fact that they are trying to rebuild and make sure that they are better. So we'll see how that ends up. Like I said, I miss Will Levis. I miss memes every week. I'm not sure.
Get well soon, Will. We need you back out there, baby.
Yeah. Good for them. And from the Rocky Mountains to the Bay, 49ers beat the Seahawks 17-13 in one of the worst games I've ever seen.
It was so boring. It was so boring. Sam Darnold had the training wheels on. They didn't he didn't play a bad game. They just didn't let him do anything. Jackson Smith and Jigma had a very nice game. Cooper Kupp didn't do shit.
You know who didn't have a good game? Jake Moody.
Oh God, dude, Kyle Shanahan. I think I said this to you during the game. It was either to you or to Adam. I said, if they don't cut Jake Moody soon, Kyle Shanahan is going to strangle him. Like he is going to commit murder on the sideline. They would cut to Shanahan every time Moody was lying. Moody's over there. He's lining up like, and get cut to Shanahan. He's just. Shanahan is what, like late 40s now, maybe, and he looks like he's like 65. He ages 5 years every time Jake Moody kicks the ball. He's going to be the Walking Dead if they didn't cut his ass. So for Shanahan's health,
they had to do it.
Had to.
Oh,
you can't have a head coach committing capital crimes on the sideline. It's just not a good look on the organization.
It was a really boring game. I had was a point where I had to switch off and see what else was going on, and I stopped it there. Running some 49ers and see what the Niners are looking at like this year. And then as soon as I do that, George Kittle was out of the game. It's like, oh well, the injury bug is still there, so there's nothing else to look at. So,
dude, it's bad every year now.
It's
McCaffrey made it through, but
he didn't look as explosive as before.
Well, he's injured, but he's just playing through the injuries.
So he's like, why are we playing him right now? Like, just let him get healthy. I know you need a running back, but you guys had some good guys as backups last season.
Well, they had Jordan Mason, and they said, oh, we can trade him to Minnesota for a 6th-round pick. And then they turn around and they trade a 6th-round pick for Brian Robinson. It's like, okay. I don't know. Between Brian Robinson and Isaac Guerrero, though, I feel like that's a good thunder and lightning 1-2 punch if you need to fill in. But Brock Purdy had a rough outing. Obviously, Ayuk isn't in there. Juwan Jennings is hurt. But 2 picks for Purdy, but he did come through in the clutch in the end and got that game winner. So,
all right. Before you jump into your Monday Night Football game, which I know
we still got a few games.
Yeah, to cover. we got a couple of games.
I do also want to say Seattle's defense very serious, and Fred Warner is still one of my favorite players in the league. That dude is such an unsung elite player. Like of every linebacker in the league, Fred Warner is probably the most fun to watch.
Let us hope the injury bug does not bite him as well.
Yeah.
because that injury bug in San Francisco, it's going rampant. Like people who are robbing cars and stuff like that Bay City. We have a couple games left. We have the Bengals Browns, where we saw another one of those games where everything just was not going well for either
The
team.
Bengals did not deserve to win that football game.
17-16.
I watched a lot of that game, and I wanted a cigarette after that game. I was just like, but like,
Poor Joe
Joe
Flacco.
Flacco's 42 years old, whatever he is, and he's doing everything. He's putting the ball on the money, and it's not just like that they're dropping the passes. It's that it's hitting their hands, and then they're like sweeping it and throwing it up in the air, and it's getting picked off. The kicker's this guy. His name is Schmidt, spelled Szmyt. He can't even spell Schmidt right. You think he's gonna hit a field goal? Come on, man. Just like the defense played their asses off. Jamar Chase had 2 catches for 26 yards. T. Higgins 3 for 30 something. Like, which first of all, let me just say this, and this is a hot take. Let me make sure I get this correctly here in my notes. Joe Burrow is the 4th best quarterback in football, but he is not on the same tier as Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar. They are on a separate tier. I know he's been to a Super Bowl. I know he went to a championship game.
He's right here.
Yeah, he's on his own tier as number 4 before you get into like some of the rest of these guys. But like, I know that there's a dearth of talent on defense, but like, look at what Josh Allen's doing. Like, they got a dearth of talent on their defense. I mean, they got more talent. They got Greg Rousseau. They signed Nick Bosa. They got some guys, but like, this is the best we could. I know the Browns. They got players on defense. They got some nice corners. You got Myles Garrett, but like,
it has to be the culture.
Why did they pay T. Higgins? You have Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. He's a top 4 quarterback, is he not? Why do we need to pay 2 wide receivers top wide receiver money? Just like, he's Joe Burrow. He can. Andre Yoshivas, he can make him a number 2 receiver. He's Joe Burrow. You don't need to pay 2 guys. Pay some defenders. Go get some help on the ownership sucks. The management sucks. Zach Taylor looks like a felt puppet. He's a clown. He's a bum bozo buffoon. He is the OG bum bozo buffoon. And they will continue to win enough games where he will keep his job because, years ago he took us to a Super Bowl. Get him out of there. Get the front office out of there. Sell the team. Get rid of everybody on the team except Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson. Everyone else can get the hell out. The offensive line, get them out. Send them to the Texans. They will take every bad offensive lineman you could get. Get rid of them. Gut the roster, gut the front office, and for the love of God, sell the team. They practice under an overpass, Cesar. This is the National Football League. You got people building $100 million bubbles to practice in. If you've ever seen the Vikings practice facility, it's like the Bengals play their games in a stadium that's shittier than the Vikings practice facility. I wanted to turn over a new leaf, put my hatred of the Bengals to the side. I took my victory lap. Every week I said they were going to miss the playoffs. They missed the playoffs. I wanted to set it to the side because Joe Burrow is a great player. Jamar Chase is a great player. Trey Hendrickson, great player. T. Higgins, great player. The Bengals suck. They did not deserve to win that game. Joe Flacco laid his ass on the line. Footsteps Flacco. He put the team in a position to win that game. The Browns should have won that game. Fuck the Bengals. And I say that knowing we play them in 2 weeks and they're probably going to fucking throw the ball all over the yard on us. But goddamn, they're not serious people. It's not a serious organization.
They should get relegated to the UFL and then get the Birmingham Stallions.
Get Joe Burrow to a real organization. That's all I'm going to say. Get him out of there and get him to an organization that knows how to run this shit from the top down.
Who needs a quarterback right now? Let's see.
Send him anywhere. Send him
the
to the fucking
Panthers.
Toronto Argonauts. I don't care where you said. Just get him out of Cincinnati, please.
What about another big cat team? Just send him to the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, is Bryce Young the regression there was pretty rough.
Yeah,
I thought the Bengals, not the Bengals, the Panthers, they finished strong. They almost beat your Eagles. The guy
yeah.
Xavier Legette dropped the pass at the end that would have won the game. They almost beat the Chiefs. Like they had momentum,
And now they're
and
just back down. I
maybe
mean,
they shouldn't have traded Adam Thielen.
Jaguars look frisky though, so we'll see what
Oh,
happens there.
I like the Jags. You know I'm on the Jags this year. Liam Cohen is going to prove everyone wrong. They clowned Sirianni when he talked about the flowers. They clowned Dan Campbell talking about biting kneecaps. They clowned Liam Cohen. Duval. But don't forget, Baker Mayfield, 40 touchdowns with Liam Cohen calling plays. And I know being a good play caller does not mean you're going to be a good head coach, but I like that he came into the first meeting with the team and he joked about the Duval thing, and they made a team video of him properly saying Duval. I like it. I like his energy. I like where he's coming from. I think he's going to be a guy for them.
Well, hopefully that works out for them because they beat the Panthers 26-10. The Panthers were nowhere near close to winning this game. There's videos of Bryce Young just distracted on the field, just looking at the screen on the fucking stadium at the game that they show between snaps, and it's just like, what is this? What's going on here? That's another organization that does not feel serious right now. So they have to fix that and make sure that they are able to get focus if they want to continue to win games and gain that momentum that, like you said, that they had at the end of last season.
All right, we got two more games to get to real quick before we get to the coup de grace, the main event. Let's Arizona, New Orleans. I paid almost no attention to this game. I just saw at the end the New Orleans had a chance to win and the guy dropped the ball. But
I didn't watch the game, but I did notice that the Cardinals were able to get on a rhythm that was really good for them. Harrison Jr. had a good game, and Kyler Murray seems like finally he is clicking with Murray, and with Harrison Jr. So we'll see if that chemistry is able to be developed into more success for the Cardinals. That's all I saw. Saints, they are in the middle of a restructure, rebuilding. So, I expect some games to be lost. I expect a couple of games maybe to be won, but I don't see them doing anything much this season except for continuing to rebuild.
Yeah, it's a strong day for Kyler. I will say he took 5 sacks. So, I mean, that's something to clean up.
It's an offensive line issue.
I mean, is it? He scrambles around a lot. This is we got to watch the tape to see.
Yeah,
he's Caleb Williams, except he can actually play the quarterback position. Like you said, Harrison Jr., 5 catches, 71 yards and a touchdown. Hopefully he can keep on that trajectory. We need more touches for Trey Benson. 8 carries, 69 yards. I think one of them was a 40-yard run, but let's get him some more touches. And then here's the second of the season, New Orleans. You come into this year with Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck as your quarterbacks. Run the ball. 46 passes to 22 runs, and you got Alvin Kamara averaging over 4 yards a carry. Let him tote the rock. We don't need to be throwing the ball 46 fucking times with Spencer Rattler. It's not like they were getting blown out the whole game. Like it was fairly tight the whole time.
I expect better from Kellen Moore. I feel like he's just trying to adapt to the new team and see what the weapons that he has. So we might see some some good stuff from the Saints throughout the season. But like I said, I don't expect them to make it to the playoffs.
This is what he did with Dallas. He was better with the Eagles because they had Saquon fucking Barkley and the best offensive line in football. But this is what he did when he was the OC in Dallas, was just pass the ball all the time. It's these quarterbacks, man. They can't help themselves. They get the headset on and it's like we got to pass the ball. We need to, if we're not hitting 40 passes a game, we're not passing enough. Just run the ball. You're gonna suck either way. Like at least put your young guys in a position. He was a quarterback.
Let him eat.
Don't ruin the young quarter. Even if the plan is get a high draft pick and draft the next guy, Don't kill the guy's career because you want to pass the ball 46 times. Just run the ball. Come on.
Speaking of run the
Jesus.
ball, the last game before we talk about the main event was another boring ass game from the 4 o'clock schedule.
Oh,
Rams
yeah.
and Texans. What's wrong with the NFC West?
In this case, I don't really know. I didn't watch enough of this game to get a good judge of it. That it just felt weird about the lack of points. But I would say the Texans have an incredibly strong defense. I'm not going to look too much into it. Puka Nacua had a great game. Matt Stafford's coming off the back injury. Devontae Adams had a solid game. It's going to take some time for him to work into it. I Nick Chubb, little Nick Chubb revival for the Texans. We need to get him some more carries because he seemed like he was pretty solid in that game. But the only thing I want to talk about in this game is the Texans' offensive line is offensive. You
And
have
nothing to go with.
Laramie Tunsil and a bag of balls next to him, and you trade Laramie Tunsil to Washington for what? For picks? You've won a playoff game 2 years in a row. You should be trading picks to acquire players to fill holes, not trading players from a position of weakness for picks. Why? This blew my mind. They trade Laramie Tunsil and then they acquire Cam Robinson, who is like a replacement level league average tackle. But he was a backup tackle for the Vikings last year. Then they trade a sixth-round pick for Ed Ingram and sign Laken Tomlinson. And I got news for you. I'm not the biggest PFF fan in the world, but this is the best reference we got. The last 2 years, according to PFF, the two worst graded offensive guards among qualified guards in the NFL, you guessed it, Laken Tomlinson and Ed Ingram. And they're going in and they're starting right away. I think Ed Ingram was out with an injury, which makes it even worse because now you're on the guy. Whoever they got backing up Ed Ingram is starting. But it's like, this was your biggest problem last year. You got good receivers. You go draft Jaden Higgins, who I was a big fan of. You still got Nico Collins, even with Tank Dell working back from the injury. Mixon's on the shelf, but you add Chubb back in. I'm a fan of giving Chubb another shot here. You got CJ Stroud, who's cool as a cucumber. I love what CJ Stroud is made out of. The defense is fantastic. Your biggest problem on the team is offensive line. And you made it worse. You actively made the offensive line worse. What are we doing? You have to do better than this. It's the opposite of what you should be doing. Get better at your weak spots. Don't get worse. They drafted Ariante Ursary, who I think has a chance, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And that's why the Jaguars are going to win the division. Duval. That's the new Broncos country. Let's ride. Duval.
Yeah, I originally once before the week started, I picked the Texans to win the division, but after seeing their performance and seeing those issues, I don't think they're gonna win the division either. So we'll see. Maybe the Jaguars are the ones, like you said. We'll see what happens there. I mean, I don't have that much faith on the other teams except for the Colts. Maybe we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I have nothing to say about this game except for the fact that the Rams won a game and good for them. It's just the NFC West is riddled with some questions. There's like these teams used to be like some of the best teams in the entire conference, and now they're just barely surviving. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's for week one.
Well, you know what's next.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna let you say your piece because I'm gonna rip into this game in the best way possible. So I'm gonna let you say what you got to say about my Minnesota Vikings going into Soldier Field Monday Night Football, the triumphant debut of my godson, the one, the truth, the answer, JJ McCarthy.
All I'm gonna say is that I'm really happy I did not go to sleep last night.
Oh yeah,
As of this recording on Tuesday, I'm so happy I did not go to sleep. I was just about to just like turn the TV off and I'm going to bed. But Then he got that pick six, and something awoke. They woke the big monster within McCarthy, and he fucking got it done. The floor is yours, my friend.
Jonathan James McCarthy is a mythological figure. I have tracked this man because he led my Michigan Wolverines to the national title. And so I knew he was made of the right stuff. But when I did my quarterback evaluations going into the 2024 draft, I wanted to be as unbiased as possible, knowing I was going to be biased. I watched a bunch of tape on the kid, and I came out saying, great arm strength, tremendous athlete. Everyone says, oh, there's not a big enough sample size. But then those Mitch Trubisky starts 1 year in college. That's not too small of a sample size to take him second overall. They do this. Zach Wilson started 1 year. That's not too small of a sample size. But oh no, he's a handoff merchant. All he can do is hand off the ball. He's not that good. And then you got people like Greg Cosell with his evaluation saying, oh, he's got pedestrian arm strength and he's not much of an athlete. And then you got clowns like Colin Cowherd that got the balls, the stones to go on national TV and parrot what Greg Cosell says without watching a single shred of a second of tape for himself. And he, to this day, continues to push out this false narrative that he's got a weak arm and he's not much of an athlete. It's a blatant lie. If you watch the tape, he's got a live arm. He has the second highest recorded velocity on a ball thrown at the combine in combine history. We're talking about over 40 years. That's not a weak arm. You saw him scramble for that third touchdown. Does that look like not an athlete to you? No, it does not. But when I was sold on J.J. McCarthy, was watching the interviews, hearing him talk about how at 18 years old, he was dealing – he might have been 17, to be completely honest. As a senior in high school, he had just moved to Florida to go to the IMG Academy. The pandemic hits. He's all alone. You can't go out. You can't do anything. He got depressed for the first time in his life. So he sought out answers to his problem, and he landed on meditation. I didn't start meditating until I was damn near 30 years old. Literally the week I turned 30 is when I started meditating. This dude at 17, 18 years old sought out a solution to his problem. He's an old soul. He's wise beyond his years. He's tremendously mature. He's one of those guys you meet and you're like, there's no way this guy is actually this good of a dude. But he is. He's genuine. You feel the genuine vibe from him. And everyone who he meets, everyone who talks with him for 5 minutes, plays a snap of football with him, they say the same thing. The kid is legit. And I said, you can measure arm strength. You can measure all the measurables. You can look at, the arm talent. Oh, he's 6'5". He could throw the ball 70 yards across his body all the way down the field to the other side of the field. That shit matters to a degree. But the intangibles are what win you championships. And they say, oh, well, you can't measure it, so we can't scout that. That's bullshit. You can't measure it, but you can perceive it. And that's what I perceived when I said J.J. McCarthy is the best player coming out of this draft. He is the best quarterback in this draft. He is the one. He is the next Tom Brady. He is the guy. And I willed it into existence. J.J. McCarthy was manifesting. He wanted to go to Minnesota. He interviewed with all the teams. He said, Kevin O'Connell's my guy. Minnesota is the spot. He manifested himself to Minnesota. I meditated every day manifesting J.J. McCarthy to the Minnesota Vikings and trading up with the New York Jets to the number 10 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. The Minnesota Vikings select J.J. McCarthy, quarterback, Michigan. And I said, he's going to be the guy. And I had to wait 1.5 years. I had to be patient. It's like you open your present on Christmas and they say, oh, you're going to go on a cruise, but you're not going on the cruise until next summer. You got to wait. You want your present now, but you're patient because you know that cruise is going to be fantastic. And oh, baby, was the cruise fantastic. Maybe not for the first 3 quarters, but by the end of the night, the cruise was cruising, baby. At halftime, Kevin O'Connell, they get the late field goal. Big leg Bill, Will the Thrill Reichard with a 59-yarder on second down, first down. just bangs it through no problem. This shit would have been good from 75 yards probably. So shouts out the big leg Bill. But you go in, you're down. It's been a terrible first half. He puts his finger in J.J. McCarthy's chest. He says, "You are going to lead this team back to win this game." And he said the look in his eyes was exceptional, and I know it was because they showed a close-up before the game started. He's standing in the tunnel, and they do a slow zoom in on the face of Jonathan James. And you look into his eyes, and you saw a stone-cold killer, an assassin, a beast, a demigod, a man who was ready to take the field in his hometown of Chicago, Illinois, and send all these clown Bears fans home with the same thought they have every time they go home after a game for the last 40 years. Same old Bears, because they ain't getting it done. They ain't getting it done today. They ain't going to get it done next week, and they damn sure ain't going to get it done when we play them again in week 12 or 13 or whatever it is. I saw the look in his eyes, and I knew that was the look Kevin O'Connell was talking about when he said he put his finger in his chest, and he saw the look in his eyes was exceptional. I saw that. And then Aaron Jones goes on a podcast after the game, which is a weird choice, but he goes on, maybe it was like a radio show. I don't know. But he goes on somewhere and he says, they are down. End of the third quarter. He's thrown the pick six. Everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong in this game. They are losing this game. There is no reason, there's no logical reason to have hope that this kid in his first start at 22 years of age is going to lead this team back. And he looks around the huddle. He looks every man in the eye and he smiles and he says, "Where else would you rather be?" And Aaron Jones said, "Oh my God." And that's when he knew. That's when they all knew that this kid was about to go absolutely nuclear. The mythology of Jonathan James McCarthy has reached professional football, and everybody in the league, your Eagles, the Green Bay Packers, the only team that knows is Chicago, and oh, baby, do they know. Because the fans, the radio people, the TV people, they are melting down today because deep down, deep in their body, in their soul, in their loins, they understand that they fucked up taking Caleb Williams. They fucked up because they could have taken any one of these guys. And they would have been better taking any one of these guys except maybe Bo Nix because I don't know if they had the right system for him. But they fucked up. They could have taken Penix. They would have been better off. They could have taken Drake May. They could have taken Jay Daniels, had a monster rookie year, best rookie year for a quarterback in NFL history. But they should have taken Jonathan James. They should have taken the local kid from LaGrange Park, Illinois, the suburbs of Chicago, grew up with the Brian Urlacher jersey, the very first game he ever went to as a kid as a 4-year-old in 2007. Adrian Peterson ran for 224, returned a kickoff, 60-something yards, had his pants pulled down on live TV to set up the game-winning field goal, and he was there for that. And last night, Monday Night Football, Week 1, 2025, he was there when Jonathan James McCarthy led the Minnesota Vikings to one of the most beautiful comebacks I have ever seen, one of the most beautiful football games I have ever seen. And everyone did their part. The defense was fantastic. There was one drive where it was getting a little touch and go. They couldn't get Caleb on the ground to save their lives, but the pass rush was humming. All last year, the interior defensive line of the Minnesota Vikings had 41 pressures, the interior defensive line. Last night, new offseason additions, former Pro Bowlers Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave had a combined 13 pressures in one game. Just those two guys. That paid off. You draft Donovan Jackson in the first round. You sign Ryan Kelly. You sign Will Fries. What happens? Donovan Jackson, 0 pressures allowed. Ryan Kelly, second highest graded player on offense in the game. Everyone's doing their part. The Vikings, they went into the offseason with a plan. We got to address the interior lines. We got to get better. We got to, what do I say every week, every year, Cesar? You got to be nasty in the trenches. You got to be mean in the trenches, and you need beef. You need beef to protect. You need beef to protect the one. Jonathan James McCarthy in the fourth quarter, the first ever in his first game. 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in the fourth quarter of his very first game. The only quarterback in NFL history other than J.J. McCarthy to do what he did, to erase a double-digit deficit in the fourth quarter of his very first start, Hall of Fame Super Bowl MVP Steve Young. This is what he's doing. This is who this guy is. And people can sit here and act like, oh, we got to see more. It's just one game. It is what it is. He's a handoff merchant, Cesar. That's what they said. Well, guess what happened when they stopped handing it off on first and second down on every drive and they let the kid rip? And don't get me wrong, Jordan Mason was ripping them off in that fourth quarter. Jordan Mason set it off Jada Pinkett. I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason played a huge part. He had a monster blitz pickup on that first touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson. But J.J. McCarthy, with the mind, the intangibles, the shit that you can't measure, that the scouts say you can't measure it, so we're not going to factor it into the equation. It's not more important than the arm talent. Oh, you can't measure it. The analytics can't measure the intangible factors. It was those intangibles that made the team believe. It was the intangibles that led everyone in that huddle to say, this kid's going to fucking lead us back in this game. And that's exactly what he did. 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, 2 touchdown passes, and the rush, oh my God. The play call, tremendous. Read option play, he runs out, and you're like, oh, he's going to get the first down. He gets the first down, he hits him with a little stutter step. He lowers his helmet, and it's like, he ain't going out of bounds. He ain't going on the ground. He's getting in the end zone. There is no fiber in his being right now that thinks, maybe I won't get in and we'll live to see first and goal. He don't want no first and goal. He wants the 6, and he got the 6. And they gave him the game ball, and this dude was so fired up in the locker room. Like, everyone's cheering, oh, Miles Price gets a game ball, and Javon Hargrave gets a game ball, and Will Reichard gets a game, and everyone's cheering, yeah, big win, we got it. J.J. McCarthy gets his game ball, he comes in, let's fucking go! And the roof came off the locker room. They're going to have to do renovations at Soldier Field. He literally tore the roof off of the locker room when he said, let's fucking go. And I'm talking about everybody on that team blew their minds because now everyone who watched that game, you stayed up to watch it. Our boy Tanner fell asleep. But the people that were fortunate enough, smart enough to stick through to the end, that watched that game, they now know to some small extent what I have known from the beginning, that Jonathan James McCarthy is the truth. And he ain't going nowhere. The Vikings are serious fucking business. That defense is serious. And they were top 5 last year, and they only got better. Justin Jefferson, best in the business. Aaron Jones, Pro Bowl running back. Guess what? You go out and add Jordan Mason. He was the leading rusher in the league through 7 games last year until Christian McCaffrey came back. Great in blitz pickup. Absolute hammerhead running the ball. You improve the interior offensive line. The rookie, 0 pressures allowed. Ryan Kelly, second highest graded offensive player in the interior. Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, like I said, 13 pressures from the interior in 1 game for an interior defensive line and only have 41 pressures in 17 games last year. All the new additions. Eric Wilson comes off the bench because Blake Cashman gets hurt. Eric Wilson blocks a punt, has 5 tackles and 2 tackles for loss off the bench. I'm telling you, sleep on McCarthy at your own peril. I've given you a year and a half of warning of what is about to happen, what is about to be unleashed on the professional football world. And we saw just a glimpse, just a little taste of what's coming week after week. I've never been more proud of my team in my life than watching them respond to this kid take the fucking reins at 22 years old. This kid was less than 1 year old when I first started watching football at a diehard level. And now he's my quarterback, and I'm repping him. I'll rep him till I die. 9 to 18 all day, every week. We ain't stopping until the Lombardi is on display in Minneapolis, baby. And that's all I got to say about that.
I guess it will be one of those questions of where were you when the legend of J.J. McCarthy started?
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy for the kid. I love what I saw. I was excited, not as much as you, obviously. I cannot wait to see how the Eagles face off against him and the Vikings. Is I don't think they have a regular season game this week, this season, but
Oh,
maybe
yes, they do.
we do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, in your house,
Week
right?
week 6. Yep.
So that's gonna be fun. We'll see
I'm
what happens
terrified.
there.
If he beats the Eagles, I'm never taking this off. If he beats the Eagles, I will sew this to my body.
Hey, it's not the regular season that you need to beat the Eagles. You know where the
No.
Eagles beat you all the time.
Both the regular season and in the postseason. Let's be real. It's every once in a while, like 2018. I think we beat you in the regular season, but
The Eagles are your
yeah,
Tampa
no,
Bay.
yeah. The Eagles have beat the Vikings. How many times? I want to say the Vikings have made the playoffs 8 or 9 times since I've been a diehard fan, and the Eagles have beaten us in the playoffs 3 fucking times. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it, and I wish this damn camera would focus. Production issues. It's not out of focus. I'm just vibrating. I'm vibrating from JJ McCarthy. It looks like I'm out of focus, but I'm actually in focus.
I love the game. I love that last fourth quarter. I was impressed by it. It was an impressive performance, just as impressive as the Josh Allen one. People don't talk about it as much because he was facing the Bears and people don't care about the Bears. They undermine them. But I think that performance was a performance for the lifetime. I'm pretty sure that J. McCarthy is just starting, so we'll see what happens in the week 2 when you face off against none other than the Falcons and Michael Penix Jr. So
Sunday Night Football,
yeah, so that's
prime time game.
back to back primetime games for you, sir. So we'll see what happens there. I'm happy and I'm excited for the new season. I got a lot of picks to make. We have 8 divisional games last week. We have 6 divisional games this week, so that's always fun. Um, but I think we're in for a very good season, my friend.
We made it, baby. We made it.
We're
We
back.
made it through the desert. It's
Yes, we
all out in
did.
front of us.
Yes, we did, and I can taste the water of that oasis just waiting at the end. That's a mirage, but whatever. That Oasis is a Super Bowl, and I see the Eagles back in there. But whatever. Either way, that's just me. But
You want to know something I thought about in the shower yesterday?
I
I've
don't
been
know.
watching. This is my
Now go ahead.
23rd. This is my 23rd season. Die hard, like every single game, locked into my Vikings. 23 years. I've seen them win a grand total of 4 playoff games. The Eagles won 4 playoff games last year. Savor it, because it ain't always gonna be like that.
I
Maybe it
know.
will, but I not in my experience.
I gotta enjoy the good years before they go back to be bad. Like post 2017 Super Bowl run. That was a bad stretch for a while. Um, yeah, man. I'm excited for football. I'm excited for the NFL. I guess we'll be back to do the picks, and then I'll see if I can get some more for more predictions than I did last season. I'm gonna try to do some more. I did have some predictions the last week. Only one of them was successful. I predicted the Eagles to dominate the Cowboys. That did not happen. I predicted Mahomes to have a bad night, but Chiefs still win. That did not happen. I predicted the Raiders in the past game to be a close game. I was correct about that. I predicted Rodgers to ball out. He didn't ball out. He didn't do bad, but he didn't ball out. And I
Who?
predicted Aaron Rodgers.
He balled out. He had 4 touchdowns.
Eh, I guess that's 2 predictions correct then. And
He
then of
balled out.
course, Micah Parsons sacked Goff multiple times, but it was only once. So close in the predictions, but I'll see how I do this week. And yeah, you got any closing thoughts?
Uh, I
Besides
love
JJ
JJ
McCarthy.
McCarthy, and he's God's perfect little quarterback. I love him so much. Here's another stat that I forgot. This man is 64-3 as a starting quarterback since his sophomore year of high school. You said it multiple times earlier. What is the most important stat?
Wins the loss.
Wins. 64-3. He is this. I didn't know this until, and again, I'm the JJ McCarthy fanatic. I know every piece of mythology. I know you know how he wears like the eye black.
Yeah.
The only time he doesn't wear the eye black is when they play Ohio State, because he grew up an Ohio State fan, and they chose not to sign him, and they went with Kyle McCord. How'd that work out for you? And so he chose to go to Michigan solely to stick it to Ohio State, and then he doesn't wear the eye black against Ohio State because he, quote, wants Ryan Day to see his face when he whoops his ass. I know every bit of mythology on this kid, and I didn't know this until 2 days ago. He is, if every quarterback in Division I football history, he has the highest winning percentage of any quarterback in the history of D1 football. Just win, baby, and that's what JJ does. We're going undefeated. We're not going to lose a game in the next 15 years. We're going to win 12 Super Bowls in the next 10 years. It's happening.
He's going to retire a Minnesota Viking.
I'm so happy. I've never been this happy in my life. Oh, God.
Thank the football gods for that, my friend.
God bless JJ McCarthy. God bless football. And God bless the football heads out there. Join us for noob football picks coming soon.